And I mean, it's, if you can imagine, you get that guy on the stage that's always spinning those plates on the little stick, and he's running around trying to keep them all going. Well, that's what the clients are usually doing. What we're there to do is show them how to put all the plates together. So you only got to hold that one stick and balance them there. And they usually come together. So we don't focus necessarily on one. If we were to say we were focused, it would be tax-free income, though. That's kind of the idea of bringing all that together to make sure somebody has some tax-free income when they reach retirement.
And welcome back to the Money, Mindset, and Mentoring Podcast. We have Cory Nunes with us from Mod Financial out of California, right on the coast. Man, I really wish I was living where you are. We are buried in snow here, and you're like, snow? Shh, never mind that. Amazing, amazing. Cory is a financial architect. He works with people to help them with their financial situations, and he does that through looking at the things that they're already spending today to set them aside for the future to make them in a better place. So, Cory, it's definitely great to chat with you today.
It's great to be here, Steve, and thanks for having me.
So we've got to know each other over the past few months, and I'm so excited to get to know you. I know you're doing a lot of things for yourself, the transformational, that really, makes me excited to see. And I know a lot of that is really transcending into the relationships you have, the people around you. Talk to me a little bit about what got you into the idea that helping people with finances or anything like that in the planning side. What got you into this space? What excited you about it?
Well, I grew up on a dairy majority of my life, went through the high school years and everything. And when I finally, got out of that situation, I shouldn't say got out of it, but left the situation, and then I kind of was doing my own thing there for a while. But back in 2007 is what happened. I started my own company in the construction business. And the reason why I did that was because, I had a kid on the way, I'm looking like, oh my gosh, I got a family coming, I got to support, I got to do all this. So I just kind of like, what am I going to do? I can't be working for somebody else all the time and just collecting that paycheck. It's not going to suffice for what I want for my family. So I jumped in, got my contractor's license, and away I went. But, so I had a very successful career doing that at the time, but I knew at the end, being in construction, really all I was going to have at the end of the day and what I was going to retire with was just a broken down body and a whole bunch of wore out tools. No one's going to buy that, at the end of the day when I go to retire. No one's going to give me anything. So I started looking at ways to, what am I going to do? What's my exit strategy? Started doing the kind of research, I looked into a lot of different things. I even started another business, in the cannabis industry when it went legal in 2016. I was always looking for that next thing. And then right around, when COVID started to hit, I knew I needed to do something that was recession proof and all that kind of stuff. And that's when I found financial services. And I kind of jumped all in. And, a year ago, I just finally shut down my business, and I've been doing this full time now. It's great. I love helping people. I'm not the traditional money manager, as they say, I'm not asking you to give me all your money and I'm going to tell you that I'm going to grow it and make you rich at the end of the day. That's not what I do. And that's, and not taking anything away from those that do that, but I just like to work with people. The ones that have a little bit of money, the ones that have a lot of money, really like working with those. I mean, not going to disagree on that. But it's fun helping people reach their goals, and it's helped me reach my goals now. It's given me the freedom, the ability. My son's older now; he's 18. He just got his license, coming into the industry. It's coming to fruition now, and I really enjoy just helping the people and getting them, put them in a better place every day.
Now, when you look at the financial, there's so many different sections of financial planning. You got people who, work on tax planning. You have people who work on life insurance. You have people who work on estate planning, wills, and all that stuff. What is the specific area that you really like to hone in on?
Well, So all those that you mentioned, our specific area is being the connector in all those points. Because we come into somebody's financial situation, we take a look at all their little pieces they got going on, from their insurance to their mortgage to their estate, to their taxes. Nobody's talking. One hand's not talking to the other, and that's where we come in. We take a look at what they're doing at each little piece, and we bridge them all together so they're all in one. And then that's where you find a little bit of extra money that people can now set aside to put towards retirement. It's a matter of so-called budgeting or whatever, but you really have to get all the pieces lined up and make it happen. I mean, it's, if you can imagine, you get that guy on the stage that's always spinning those plates on the little stick, and he's running around trying to keep them all going. Well, that's what the clients are usually doing. What we're there to do is show them how to put all the plates together. So you only got to hold that one stick and balance them there. And they usually come together. So we don't focus necessarily on one. If we were to say we were focused, it would be tax-free income, though. That's kind of the idea of bringing all that together to make sure somebody has some tax-free income when they reach retirement.
Well, you had, I think it's who was it? Leonardo DiCaprio said this. You had my curiosity, and then when you said tax-free, now you've got my attention. And so let's talk a little bit about tax-free, because that's one of those things that, most people, I live in Canada, and so, taxes is big, but I don't know, we're sort of in competition that I think in California, you might be bigger. But the thing is when it comes to taxes, a lot of people, when they start making real income, that becomes one of their biggest expenses, out of the gate. And, in our country, if somebody's making 120, 130 grand a year, they're writing a check to the government for 40 or 50 grand. And, and then you add in excise tax, you add in, we've got this thing called the carbon tax credit, and so that tax goes in, and there's all these taxes. How do we get to the point that we can, I'm not saying avoid tax. I think, tax has its place, but I think in a situation where we can minimize it to something that is appropriate.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the key. I mean, avoidance, that's the word, though. You're trying to avoid paying taxes, We're not trying to do anything illegal here. We're just trying to use the tax codes to our advantage. That's the system that you have to educate yourself on, what you got to get used to. You find those loopholes. They're not loopholes. I mean, they're in the book. They're there for a reason. The rich have been using them forever. And we're just trying to help the everyday common person be able to utilize those codes. So the tax-free piece is, so first of all, you got to ask yourself when you're starting to do the planning piece, is taxes going to go up or are they going to go down in the future? It's kind of a key starting component because it's a planning situation. So if taxes, I mean, what do you think, Steve? Are they going to go up or do you think they're going to go down?
Well, I think history always tells us, and I think we had this company called the Fraser Institute that does a study on taxes. And I think they said since 1951, the marginal tax brackets went up by 151%. So I just don't think that's going to stop now. I think, as we see, more people work for the government, that's going to cost more. And as we see more services done from the government, well, that's going to cost more too. And as more money is shipped overseas, well, that's going to cost more. So every time a dollar is spent by the government, it's got to come from somewhere. And then when you slap on top of that the government has got this massive, massive debt that's got to be paid for, and it's not even getting paid for, it's getting barely serviced. Well, that's got to come from somewhere. So unfortunately, it's coming from the tax base.
Yeah. So here in the United States, we are at pretty much one of our lowest tax brackets we've ever been in right now. So when I go to tell a client that, they think, no way, I pay so much in taxes, I get this. I go, but if you look history, tax brackets were a lot higher. Right now, we're in one of our lowest tax brackets. So a lot of people are taking their money still, just like we were taught from a young age, when you get out, go to college, go get a good job, make sure it has a 401k, and pump all your money into this, right? And then when you retire, you'll have plenty of money. Well, the baby boomers were the number one group of people that have been doing this, and it's not working for them. They're retiring now, and it's not working. They're running out of money 7 to 10 years in their retirement, and they have to go back to work. So the problem with it is they've been pushing all that deferred taxes. So now they're getting taxed, right? Which is fine. It's at the lowest tax bracket. It worked for them. But if taxes are going to go up, why are you deferring taxes on yourself now? If you're not at that point, every dollar you defer and you believe taxes are going to go up, you're raising taxes on yourself. So you got to get to that point, and you got to get to understand where the money's going to be at that point in time. Because if you're raising taxes on yourself and you keep deferring it, kicking that can down the road, you got to pay the piper sooner or later. Uncle Sam's going to get his money. So why not pay your taxes now and get the cheaper tax rate? So that way the money now is non-tax, so it goes into certain products that everything into the principal and all the growth is tax-free. So when you pull that money out, you get it.
Yeah, the biggest difference, I think, is helping people understand the difference between deferred tax and tax-free. In Canada, we have a product, it's called an RRSP, and it's a registered retirement savings plan. And this is supposed to be one of the cat's meow of what people should be doing to saving money. And really what it is, it's robbing Peter to pay Paul. What you're doing is with deferral is they would put the money in today, and all the dollars they put in today reduces their taxable income today. And then at some future day, they're supposed to pull it out, and then they pay the tax then. And I'm 100% agreeing with you that idea right there. In fact, I was in a conversation just last night with somebody about that strategy is a tough strategy because, number one, when you pull it out, so even if you pull out, say you're 20 right now and you pull it out at 50, first of all, the dollars can be worth nothing compared to the dollar now. So that's number one. But number two is it's not like you're going to be just doing nothing at that time. You probably want to go on trips. You're probably going to want to visit your grandchildren and all these other things. And that's going to cost money. So you're going to have to pull money out of your RRSP. And you're right, it's going to be at a higher marginal tax bracket. So when you need the money the most and you have the least earning power, you're pulling money at a time where it's the most painful. Which in the other situation, whereas if you're pulling it out now and keeping it out now outside of the tax wall, so it's already been taxed once, I think finding strategies that make it tax-free. In Canada, we have things like a TFSA, tax-free savings account. Something like that, in my opinion. And again, I'm not giving any advice. And that's what my belief is. Talk to somebody who can help, unpack this conversation like yourself.
Right. And that's everybody's situation is different. Everybody's got a different goal in mind, right? So, some people want to be here when they retire. Some people are happy being here when they retire. That's where we come in. We just try to help you reach your goals and minimize any mistakes along the way. It's a planning situation, and everybody's goals and mindset changes throughout the year. So we're not a one-stop shop where we're going to make this plan, sell it to you or something like that. We actually sell you nothing. Everything we do is free. We're a broker, so we get paid on the back end of stuff just like a mortgage broker. So it's a matter of planning and getting to your thing and then working with you throughout the years because you're going to change course. Something's going to happen in your life. Things are going to change, and you're going to need to adjust that. And that's what we're there for. We're there when you want us, and we're going to set up a meeting with you at least once a year to see where you're at, so to make sure we keep moving forward and you're going to reach that goal when you get there. And I tell you, the taxes are the biggest part of it that people need to pay attention to.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think right now the idea that the cost of housing is huge. I would agree with that, but something that's even bigger than the cost of housing is your taxes.
Yes, we actually have a theory on the housing. So if you have your home, a lot of these financial guys out there, they tell you get your house paid off before you retire, right? You get everything paid off so you don't have these bills. Well, that's great. And I'm not going to tell you not to do that. If it works, that's great. But if you plan on living in your home forever, does it really matter if it's paid off or not? The point of the fact is just in that plan for the money in retirement, you just have to have enough there to keep paying your mortgage. It has to be in the plan, whatever it may be. If you need it paid off or you don't need it paid off, it's how you want to leave your legacy and how things need to move forward. It's everybody's, like I said, everybody's situation is different, and a lot of the housing comes into play. And the house we actually use as a leverage for your financial future, one way or the other. So it depends, like I said, again, on each individual person.
Yeah, coming from the mortgage space, we deal with a lot of people who are downsizing or retiring and that sort of thing. And one of the things that they talk about a lot is leverage. And especially when we've just seen, the largest jump in interest rates in Canadian history, that's a big deal. People have to think about what are they going to do from a retirement standpoint. And you're right. Do they pay off their mortgage or do they not? And I think the right answer is, well, that depends. And if you're in a situation where maybe you can set yourself up with, there's a great product out there, and if used properly, there's a great product. I'll put that as a proviso. It's called a reverse mortgage. And a reverse mortgage can give you a net present amount, or it can give you a monthly stipend that's going to help you with your expenses. But it gives you a net present amount that allows you to invest, and you can invest and make more than what you're making on the cost of interest. I mean, that's a no-brainer. And you're right, if your investments make more than your mortgage payment, you're in a net positive situation. I mean, what we've done with a couple people is we've helped them take their single family house, and instead of going, somewhere else, they'll duplex it. They'll put a unit in the basement, maybe for like the grandkids to live, or maybe for somebody else, like maybe a family friend that can live in the basement now with them. And so now they can have that extra income, and they could do that with a mortgage. And then they have the extra money that they can also maybe invest, or they maybe can pay for other things. And then their investment comes in and starts paying for other things. And they're actually living a beautiful life because they have all this money coming in from them. And I think, sometimes thinking a little bit differently about how you do your financing is something that's really important, whether it's in your investments or whether it's in your leverage strategy through your mortgage.
Yeah. Everything out there is just a tool, and you just need to use it to what situation you're working with it. I'm not against any one strategy, whatever. It just has to fit that job. That's where we specialize in, because we're not pushing one product and that's it. This is the all save all product that's out there. A lot of people are like that way. You see it all the time now on the social media outlets, oh, get this product because it does this, this, and this. Well, that's all fine and dandy. I mean, that may be great, but that's not your end all save all. You got to have some other things in place in order to meet everything and make it all work properly. Yeah. I mean, and what you're saying about the mortgage industry, we were doing that for a while when interest rates were at 3% and stuff. We were telling people when they were going to go refinance, they're doing a refinance their house, and they're going to go, oh, I'm going to do a 15-year now because rates are low. We would actually show them the math to go do a 30-year note, so still use that 15-year price, right? But take the difference in it and put the difference in this product over here that's getting them 8% or whatnot. So now they got the arbitrage between the 3 and the 8. They're making money, and that's growing. And at any given point in time, after we were basically showing them, you're going to pay your mortgage for 15 years, just like you want to do. But in the last 15 years, this product is going to make your mortgage payment and the money still growing. You get your money to do more than one thing.
Absolutely. When you look at the idea of arbitrage is very interesting. And it's a word that, sometimes people don't understand. Kind of talk a little bit about that topic, because I think that's an important thing to sort of explore that idea, is playing that middle.
So it's basically a banking term. So the banks, you go give your money to the bank, you go put it all in there. They can loan out against your money. It used to be 10-1, but here in the States anyways, now they've actually pulled that restriction. They're pretty much whatever they want to do. It's crazy. So you can't go to the bank now. If we all go to the bank at one time, they don't have the money to give to us. It's all loaned out. They've got it all out somewhere else. So they're using our money to make more money, You go put it in the bank, they give you what, 1%. I mean, there are some savings account or CDs that they offer that are paying, I think, 3 to 4%, maybe even 6 or something. But they've been using our money to loan out to everybody else. They loan it back to you in a credit card or a loan, and they start charging you in the credit card. They're charging you 18, 20% now, even more. I seen a card the other day was 32%. I mean, you shouldn't even, that shouldn't even be a product legally out there. I mean, it puts nobody in a good position. So, but that's what they can do. They max everything out, they loan it back to you, and they keep us in that continuous circle. And they just keep making money on our money, and they have no figures into it.
Well, and the idea of the arbitrage is that you can use that as a vehicle yourself, because you can borrow their money and then be the bank for yourself, in the sense that you're borrowing that money and now you're lending it out basically to yourself to invest into something that's going to be at a higher yield than what it cost you.
Yeah, so we use a product that's called Index Universal Life just for that same purpose. And we show people how to be their own bank. And it is, and I'm not going to tell you it's free. There are some fees and stuff involved, but we'll explain that all to you, what those fees actually get you there, because that's what the naysayers on an IUL say. Oh, there's too many fees, there's too much this and that. And if it's built not correctly, of course, and properly built, yes, everything they say is true. But if built properly, it works perfect, because you're building your own bank. You're borrowing money against your money that you have in there that the insurance company is giving you, and your money's still never left there, so it's still accumulating interest. And you got your loan here. Basically, you're giving yourself a 0% loan if you need the money to go, down payment on a home, car, or whatever it may be. Maybe a vacation. Who knows? It doesn't matter really, as long as you've got it all in the plan and it's all set up so everything's working in order like it's supposed to.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Nice. And so when we look into 2024, what are some of the big things that you're looking to move? Big moves you're making this year?
Well, probably the biggest one, Steve, is working with you right now. I mean, that's kind of that's the biggest move I got going, to be honest with you. I kind of went here and said focus. I said, you know what, I like Steve. I like this, and we're gonna make it run, and you're gonna help me do it. So it'll be fun. We're gonna start a podcast together. Gonna get some of my health together too. That's kind of a big focus. It's time in my life to get all that together. I'm not getting any younger, so it's not going to get any easier. So now's the time.
Taxes are going up, and we're getting older.
Yeah, yep. And I just want to help. I just want to help more clients. I want to have that. I want to help 100 families this year save as much as they can save. If I'm saving a family $10 a month, that's fine. I'm happy with that. But 100 families would be nice, and that'll be real nice. But I would do 100 families would be great, but 1,000 would even be better. So.
That's right. Well, the thing is one of the things that helps you get there is attention. And the more attention you have, the more success you'll have, because money follows attention. And the thing is once you have money, and this is one of the funniest things that is about money, and anybody listening who's saying, wow, these people are just talking about money and all they care about is money. And one of the things that I always think about is, to make money matter, you've got to make money matter. And by that, I mean money is not the currency that you care about. It's just a fiat device. It's this little paper or digital thing. But the actual real currency is the impact that money can make.
Yeah.
And so the more money you have, you could also say the more impact you have. And so I think anybody who's listening, thinking about what they're going to do about their finances, what they're going to do about their direction, and really want to get a sense of, how can I create more impact, whether that's in your family, whether that's in your community, whether that's in your church, any of these things that you want to do to create that impact, you have to have the currency, right? And the currency of impact is, well, right now for you guys, it's the US dollar.
Yeah. They say, money doesn't buy happiness. Well, I always say, it may not buy happiness, but I tell you what, you just haven't given enough of it away yet, because it can make happiness.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. For me, when I took family members away on trips, and we were able to pay for them, everybody, and not ask a penny for anything back, not ask for any services, but not ask anything in return other than the joy to spend time with them, there's nothing better in the world than that.
Yep.
you know, whether it's friends or family or anything like that. When you can give without asking for anything in return, and you can do that willfully because you have the ability, that's the best feeling in the world.
Yep. Yep. I love going to
Yeah.
fundraisers and, you know, bidding on things and giving back to the community, especially fundraisers, especially for like kids. I mean, I got a soft spot for kids and youth sports and all that kind of stuff. I mean, if they come and they want money or selling raffle tickets, it's like I buy it. I don't even know when it is or what it's. It doesn't matter. I just here it is. You know, go. Yeah, okay. I mean, half the
So what you're saying is, parents who are listening to this podcast, parents, you need to find Cory Nunes in California. Look him up. Come knock on his door, and you're going to support their soccer team, their baseball team, and you're going to give willfully. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. If but the parents can't come with me. It's got to be the kid.
Got to be the kid. Done.
Yeah,
Got to teach them skills, right? Teach them
yeah,
skills. They got to sell it. They got to
yep,
sell it. Yeah, my son's jumping on a podcast this evening actually to talk with the owner of a company in French and talk about AI. So I'm pretty excited. So getting kids to get out of their comfort zone, I'm game.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah. I've done a lot of coaching and youth sports and stuff, and all the fundraisers and stuff that we've ever had to do when we're doing it. I always told the kids, your mom and dad are not doing this. This is not. This is not mom and dad baseball, mom and dad football, whatever it is. This is you guys. You guys are going to do this. That's how we're going to raise the money to go on this trip or this program or whatever we're gonna work on. And we always made the kids do it, and you know they had fun. They kind of, but they end up having a lot of fun doing it.
Well, the thing is they have fun and they grow so much. I mean, kids learn at such a pace, and we as adults can learn from kids' learning habits in the sense that they don't have barriers that we create later in life. Like a lot of times we develop these fears, these inhibitions, these things that hold us back that don't allow us to get to where we need to go from a learning perspective. Where kids, they'll just do it. And the more you can keep them doing that as they grow, the better able they are to deal with, these situations later in life.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's
That,
kids are great. You just got to lead them in the right direction, and they'll make it happen.
yeah. Well, we got 3, so hopefully we're going to be doing the same and leading them in the right direction. Sounds like you've done a great job with your son, that he's now joining into the business. That's absolutely amazing to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
That
going
is
to be
a joy.
interesting to see how it funnels out.
Spoken like a true parent. Man, that's amazing. Well, Cory, you know what? It's been an absolute pleasure having you here on the Money, the Mindset, and the Mentoring podcast. To reach to Cory Nunes, you can go to his website at corynunes.com/book to spend some time with him and learn a little bit more about how you can reduce your tax position. Let's rock on. Let's go, Cory. And thank you so much, guys, for spending some time with us here on the Money, the Mindset, and the Mentoring podcast.
Thanks, Steve.